There was always a nominal meeting scheduled at the Herhart's mansion every summer. But this year, everyone knew that Claudine von Brandt did not visit Arvis, just for that simple reason. The meeting was created for the two families to pre-negotiate and promote friendship between the different parties before announcing the engagement to the public. The two families' purpose of the meeting was clear, and neither side had tried to hide it. Especially Claudine. "Hello, Duke Herhart." Claudine greeted Matthias with perfect courtesy. The cousin that stood in front of Matthias had grown into a refined lady. He could barely see any traces of the short, whiny girl. "Welcome, Lady Brandt." Matthias also formally greeted Claudine back. The two gracefully smiled at each other. There was nothing new going on between the two. Although they weren't very close or intimate, they have seen each other for a long time. So they both knew how thoroughly aristocratic Matthias von Herhart and Claudine von Brandt were to the bones. And that was the biggest and most obvious reason why they chose each other. Matthias skillfully escorted Claudine. Alice von Herhart had ordered her servants to prepare their afternoon tea in the glass greenhouse connected to the back of the mansion. It was one way of showing Alice's consideration for Claudine, because she loved the greenhouse. "This greenhouse is always beautiful, every time I visit. It's as if Duchess Alice has moved heaven in here." Claudine, who drank the tea without a sound, gladly complimented. She spoke in a cheerful, yet calm manner, like a courteous lady. "I've spent so much time decorating this place. I'm looking forward to passing it on to a hostess who knows its value." Alice von Herhart replied in a soft voice. Countess Brandt glanced at her daughter with a proud and emotional look. Claudine gave a moderate, shy smile. "Matthias, show Claudine around Arvis's heaven," Alice von Herhart whispered at the end of their tea time. Full-scale negotiations seemed to have started taking place. As Matthias extended his hand, Claudine smoothly placed her translucent lace-gloved hands over Matthias's. The sudden image of the pale white hand, stained with dust and blood, was briefly revived over Matthias's head, and then disappeared. The two walked along the trail as they conversed on a moderate topic. A slow stream of water flowed down from the marble fountain that adorned the center of the greenhouse. The clear cries of birds diluted the afternoon's languid atmosphere. Claudine stealthily glanced at Matthias. Even though he always had a peaceful smile, it was hard to read his true emotions. As well as his attitude towards the world, he was a man of impeccable politeness, but he was also a man of arrogance, who had never bowed down to anyone in his life. He was quite an interesting subject to observe. According to Claudine, of course, the birds in this greenhouse are really pretty. Claudine marveled at the colorful birds perching on the branches. Matthias had only now recognized the existence of these birds in the glass greenhouse. Arvis's current hostess, Alice von Herhart, loved birds as much as she loved roses. Just as how the gardeners were in charge of growing the roses, the zookeepers were in charge of caring for the birds in the greenhouse. Alice's role was to just enjoy the view. That was how Alice von Herhart viewed her beautiful world. Enjoy the work others had completed for her. "I can't believe it. This one's so obedient." "What's your secret?" Claudine asked as she smiled. At the small bird that had landed on her hand, Matthias leisurely looked around his surroundings. The birds in this greenhouse were surprisingly docile. Even though the window was wide open, the birds didn't dare to fly away. They continued to sing beautifully in the tranquil environment. Matthias observed the parrot waddling over its perch, and the Bengalese finch singing on Claudine's hand. He then focused his attention to the gray-haired zookeeper. The zookeeper slowly walked in front of Claudine and answered, "I cut their wings, miss. Then, they can neither fly away nor escape, so they become submissive. If I let them be with their wings uncut, they become impossible for me to tame." "Wings? Wouldn't that hurt them?" "I only cut their feathers, so they won't feel pain. It's actually a good thing for the birds, because it'll prevent them from accidentally flying to dangerous places and get injured." "Would you like for me to demonstrate? Would that be okay, Lord Herhart?" Claudine asked, with her eyes twinkling. "As you wish, my lady,"